Welcome back to another episode of JV Starters. As always, I'm your host, Andy Vigu, and I've brought a very special co-host in today. Ben, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, what's up? My name is Benjamin. I'm a good friend of Andy and his son Jack, and diehard Seattle fan, ready to talk about some football today. Got kickoff tomorrow.
It's the season. We're finally here.
Survived a long off season once again. I didn't think we could do it, but we persevered.
I'll tell you what, I am super excited about tomorrow, not just because I get to watch my Eagles, not just because they won the Super Bowl, but because they get to hoist the Super Bowl banner in front of the Dallas Cowboys.
Amen. You might root for the wrong bird team, but anytime that we get to stick it in the face of those Cowboys, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. And I'm your brother tomorrow. Just know that.
There you go. That's right. We'll always give it to him. And not having Micah Parsons there to potentially hit Jalen Hurts makes it even better.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I told my friend Steve Isola, who came in and co-hosted once, big Seattle guy. I told him, I said, you know what? You won't believe this, but in a way, I'm a Seahawks fan. And not in the way you would think. The college that I went to, which now calls itself a university, were the Ospreys. Did you know that Seahawk is a name for an osprey? So,
yeah, I knew that Seahawk wasn't a real thing, but I did not know that that's what
the real
it
bird
actually
is an
was
osprey,
called.
and I'm an osprey. I graduated from the Richard Stockton College of New Jersey, which is now Stockton University, and so I do pull for the other birds sometimes too. Have to.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Well, I am a little bit concerned that you might not have the hottest of hot takes, considering you spent the last 2 years at least supposed to be unplugged from the sporting world, and you just barely got back to real life here.
Yeah. The stuff I want to talk about is either stuff that is really, really broad or stuff that is brand new. And so, yeah, I'm ready to talk.
So as long as I don't quiz you on the last 2 years, you'll be all right.
Yeah, being unplugged was hard. It was hard. Came back a Hoosiers fan. Who would have thunk?
Yeah.
But I'm ready to talk. I've done my homework.
All right. Well, 2 years in the breadbasket of America, in the heartland. There was
Midwest.
a TV show called The Middle, which was about people in Indiana. So, I guess that's it. You're now part of flyover country.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you want to start us off and lead us off with the first topic, or shall I?
Yeah, so the first topic, this one's kind of basic, but we just had our first drop of the Rivalry's uniforms. And I wanted to get your thoughts on them. Have you been able to look at all 8 of them?
Oh, I did look at them. Yeah. Some of them did not impress me much. I mean, the Jets, it's just another green uniform. I mean, there's a couple here. I don't remember them all off the top of my head. The one that I really did like was the Bills.
Yes. I think that that's a pretty good consensus take. I have not met a single person that thought that the Bills missed. But I wanted to talk about this plague that's happening across sports, and that is the forced blackout uniforms. Like, are you kidding me? Miami Dolphins blackout? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, I am wearing a black Eagles hat, and I don't mind it when the Eagles do wear black once in a while. I do prefer the Kelly green, even over the midnight green, but it is a little funny when you do see some of these.
Yeah, I think that the most egregious one I've ever seen was the Tennessee Volunteers. That blackout.
I love that one.
It looks
so funny you brought it up.
It looks objectively cool, and I'll give you that.
It's Halloween,
but when you look at it, the very last thing I ever think is Tennessee. Like with Philadelphia, I get it, man, because like that's a grungy city in some ways. But Tennessee, like, what are we doing? And then Miami, the Miami Dolphins pulling a blackout jersey, and you're gonna hear this a lot. You're gonna hear this from the fans defending the uniforms. They're gonna say it's not black, it's dark blue. It's supposed to look like the bottom of the ocean. But when you look at those uniforms, man, it's black. And I think that is one of the saddest uniforms I've ever seen because of the missed the missed opportunities that they had to go with Miami Vice or
Oh,
to do something with their great color scheme they already have. The
like
adding
the
black into
Marlins
the
do. Yeah, the baseball
yes,
team and the Heat, they like to do the funky colors and all that stuff.
if you're gonna do black, you got to make it Miami Vice, or like just lean into that. Like, but I don't know. I feel like just adding black to it, and then the same thing that the Rams did. I just think that I think it's a missed opportunity. I want to hear your thoughts on it.
It's funny. I don't mind it. The thing that has bothered me is when baseball started doing these city, uh,
Mm-hmm.
what they call them, city uniforms or
City
whatever.
Connects.
City Connects, yeah. And so the Phillies show up. Obviously I'm a big Philly guy, and the Phillies show up wearing this blue and yellow and black, and I was like, what? Like, it looks cool, but it's not Philly. Philly's red. Like we do red
Yeah.
and maroon, red, white, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll admit, I think it's been 2 or 3 years now. It's kind of grown on me a little bit. I actually kind of like it now. It is funny because they have, the goofy lettering and everything else on it. So I'm okay with them trying something new. And if it lands right, it lands right. So, I'll compare to another sport. So baseball, I don't like it when the teams wear a solid color shirt and different color pants because that was kind
Mm-hmm.
of always a spring training thing. Like the Phillies wear a red shirt and they wear white pants or something in spring training. And some teams have made this work. Like there's a certain look that they have, and one of the ones that I give credit to grudgingly is the New York Mets. They have a black jersey and hat with the blue and the orange. It
Mm-hmm.
actually looks really good. And as
Yeah.
much as I hate the Mets, I had to hand it to them. Like so, there's times where it works. I'd have to look at the Dolphins specifically to see what they are, and who knows? I actually might even like it. But
I just think that it's missed opportunities, man. Like to bring it to my baseball team, the Seattle Mariners, our City Connects. We have the really cool it's like a modern throwback. It looks a lot like the OG Mariners uniforms, but they kind of modernized it, made it like cool. They made the font look like the Triton that they hold up during home runs.
yeah,
But then they gave him black pants. It's like a blue, like a regular blue, not like a dark blue or like a baby blue, just like a blue with the yellow like gold font and then black pants. And I just look at that and I'm like, that is such a cool jersey. But if they changed the pants to be either blue or white, something that would look better,
yeah.
I think it'd be so much better. And I think that adding black into uniforms is one of the most forced things that I just don't think works. And especially for the Dolphins. I think that like it objectively looks cool as a jersey. But I think that it just does not scream Dolphins to me
But
because the
the
Dolphins
fact that
have
the dolphin itself is black,
yeah,
it
it's
is a
just
strange look. It's kind of a strange
yes.
look.
And unfortunately, the Dolphins having one of the best color schemes in sports, I just think that they missed by forcing black into their uniform.
That's funny. I I will tell you when you started to bring that up, I was going to go and tell you that one of my favorite versions of black was the Tennessee Volunteers. You do know that I'm a fan, right?
I do, I do.
I was
Yes,
just
I've
I had
seen
to
Jack
laugh.
wear your volunteer shirt before.
Yeah, I had to laugh. I'm thinking when you said, I'm like, wait a minute, like that was going to be my example of a good one, and you're like the worst one.
No, it's not that it's the worst one.
Or
I say it's
egregious.
like the worst example because I feel like it's the most forced. I feel like it's the most forced and the most out of place. I think it looks cool. I think it just does not feel right.
I just thought it was great because they put it on in October and it was black and orange, and I was like, man, come on, nobody can do black and orange.
Halloween.
That was dope. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And look, I digress about the blackout thing, but these rivalry uniforms, were there any that you feel like you thought were rough?
Like I said, I didn't think any of them were terrible that I saw. I just remember, I'm pulling them up right now just so I can kind of glance over them. I just remember thinking some of them seemed, just basic. They just didn't impress me. Like I said, the Jets was the one that came to mind. I'm like, oh, no kidding, you made a green jersey. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Were the Broncos in there too?
No, it was the AFC East and the NFC West. So like the Seahawks, Cardinals, Rams, 49ers. The
Gotcha.
49ers, I hate the 49ers. They're my least favorite team of all time. But they do the blackout well and tastefully. I like what they did, unfortunately.
It's funny.
I was really
clicked
hoping
on
they
a
were going to
link
make an
for
ugly
the
uniform.
NFL's website, and it and it wouldn't bring it up. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at them on ESPN here. I don't like the, I don't know, when 49ers do the funny numbers, like I just don't like the old West kind of numbers. Eh,
I think it works, especially with the gold.
yeah. I don't know. I was a graphic design major in college, and so sometimes if I feel like someone used the wrong font, it just bothers me. The Chicago Bulls back in the '80s, they had a jersey, and they brought it back sometimes, a throwback with a script Chicago, and I'm like, that's not tough. Like I think of when the Bulls, I think tough.
Yeah, like they have the big impact font. It looks cool.
Yeah. So I mean, just this is just showing just jerseys, not the helmets and stuff. But I mean, the Rams, it's black with the colors on the sleeves. I mean, I just feel like they didn't go to. Oh, yeah, I don't like the New England one. I don't like the New England.
Really?
No, the color blue is okay, but it's not their blue. Like
Yeah, I agree.
and the NE on the sleeve is weird. Like that's nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not a fan of the alternate logo that they introduced with it, but I think it looks cool because it feels New England. It doesn't feel Patriots, but it feels New England, and I think that's kind of what they're going for. It's almost like the City Connect that the MLB is doing, where they're trying to bring on like the region. Like if you look at the Cardinals one, I think it looks kind of. I don't think it looks great because the meme is that it looks like a tortilla, and that is so accurate, but it feels Arizona because it's like a dust storm.
oh, it just looked like splattered paint to me. So I look, New England's, they call it the nor'easter, which if anybody from back east knows, a nor'easter is a big storm that comes out of the northeast, and they can wreak havoc. So this is inspired by the region's fog and pays homage to the 6 states that compose the region, blah, blah, blah. The one thing I think might be interesting is I hadn't noticed that the stripes on the sleeve, it says, are reflective. So this reflective represent beams of light that shine off the Gillette Stadium lighthouse. All right, whatever.
That feels like a stretch. I feel like they were trying to make it something cool, and they just thought, what can we do?
The Dolphin says it's dark waters, so I guess it's supposed to be
It's so
deep
stupid.
water.
It's so stupid.
And the Rams, it's midnight mode. Buffalo Bills, the cold front. I'm not a big fan of all white uniforms, but I thought that one looked kind of cool. It's kind of glittery and
What's really cool is the patch on the side where they have their logo. It looks like a shattered ice bill,
Yeah,
which is really
yeah.
cool.
I do like that.
What's your take on the Seahawks one? I gotta know.
It's just showing me the jersey here. It looks okay. I mean, it's kind of looks like it's mostly white with some green numbers. Like I'm not getting a lot here. I probably need to see the whole uniform to get it better, but it looks good. It looks good.
So it's bringing back the gray. So I thought it was white at first too, but it's actually gray. They brought back their gray uniforms, but it has the sound waves and then the iridescent green, which is kind of like a mix of their blue and green into like a reflective turquoise almost, which is really cool, especially when you see the helmet with it.
So it says it's called the high decibel zone is what inspired that.
Mm-hmm. Which,
So-
if you see, I got that right there. The loudest stadium in football. The Chiefs can try to say they got it, but when we don't pump sound in when we recorded it.
All right. All right.
All right, that was the
I got a
topic I wanted to talk about. I wanted to know your thoughts on the new uniform drops.
All right. So my first one I want to ask is about every year there's an average of 4 playoff teams that don't make the playoffs the next year. And I looked at the guys who made it last year, and I don't know if you know the list off the top of your head, but it's really hard for me to look at who made the playoffs last year and take 4 of them out. So AFC was the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, the Texans, the Chargers, the Steelers, the Broncos. And the NFC, in order, this is number 1 seed down, Lions, Eagles, Buccaneers, Rams, Vikings, Commanders, and Packers. So I'm trying to, okay, if I have to come up with 4, gun to my head, I got to pick 4 to come out. I'm going to start with the Steelers. They were a wild card last year
Mhm.
anyway. I really don't believe in Aaron Rodgers is going to come in here and save them. I do like what they've done on defense. They've picked up a couple of players from the Eagles. They got DK now. I mean, we'll see how all that works out. But that's, to me, I'm going to say I'll pick them. I'll say one that is hard to say, but I got to take a flyer on somebody. I'm going to say that the Texans don't make it because because somehow the Indianapolis Colts win the division. It seems crazy. You got Daniel Jones. I don't know, man. I look through the positions. I'm going to give it to them. I think they got a good running game. They got an okay line. We'll see if that works. I'm taking a flyer there. And then in the NFC, oh man, it's tough. But if I had to pick two, I'm going to say the Rams don't make it with Stafford having issues. And then, oh gosh,
It has to be the
guess
Vikings.
I have to pick the Vikings just because of the rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else I can do there. But then it's like, okay, well, who makes it in their place? See, because I can't say the Bucks are out because that means that the Falcons win? I don't see that happening. So I guess the replacement teams that would come in, it would have to be somebody like maybe it's the Seahawks, right? They got a decent shot of winning the division here. We'll see if Sam Darnold can repeat his performance if he does as well. I don't think he'll do as well, but maybe he does well enough. So I don't even know who to pick as the other two teams that would make it in their place. What do you have any thoughts here? I mean, do you see four of them missing? What do you think?
I can tell you for free that the Indianapolis Colts will not be winning the division.
That's my hot take. That's my hot take.
I love it. My hot take is that Cam Ward is actually that guy, and I have the Titans winning. I have the Titans winning the South.
The division?
I think Cam Ward is a leader, and I do not think that Daniel Jones is a good quarterback in any shape or form.
He's not.
And I do. I'm 100% biased in this, but I do have the Seahawks edging out the 49ers for the division. But I don't think it's on Sam Darnold. I think it's on the defense. The Seahawks.
Well, wait a minute. Do you have the Rams coming in third in the division or fourth?
I do. I think.
Whoa.
I don't think that that's a knock on the Rams at all. I think that there will be 3 teams in the NFC West with a winning record.
Really?
And that's not unusual whatsoever.
I don't think the Niners are going to make it. I mean, you got these people; they're all worked up. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they've got too many holes.
And I love that take because I hope that you're right. I hope that they are as bad as you think that they'll be.
I'll give it to the Bengals. That'll be one of my other teams that'll make it.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the next one, and is the Bengals. I think that the reason that I have the Titans above the Colts is because, first off, the Colts are horrible, and second off, the Titans have done a pretty good job of their tank. I think that bringing in guys that are leaders, guys that the team can rally around, such as Cam Ward and Tyler Lockett, I think that the Titans have the motivation to go out there and win, and I think that they have enough talent in place. I do not love their running game.
Still got enough in the tank that he can be a wide receiver one.
He's not going to
be the older guy who can coach you up and he can, help out, train a young guy. But I don't think that they've got any receivers otherwise.
I think that Tyler Lockett can be a good wide receiver too, and I think that he can step up into wide receiver one role because that's what he was for us until we brought in DK Metcalf. When Doug Baldwin had to retire early, Tyler Lockett went from being our kick returner and wide receiver 2 or 3 to being our wide receiver 1, and he was really good. And
he's listed as wide receiver 2 actually behind Calvin Ridley on the Titans depth chart.
And I think that makes sense. Tyler Lockett is that guy. When it comes to preserving his career, he's done everything right. He's an incredibly healthy guy. I don't know if you've ever watched much of Tyler Lockett, but he will literally he will drop instead of taking hits. Like when he catches the ball, he'll run until he sees a guy, and then he'll lay down. He doesn't take hits, and that's been preserving his career. I don't think he's missed more than 5 games in the last 5 seasons. And so I think that he has enough juice to make a big difference and help
You think he's got
Titans
the
win that
legs
division.
though? I mean, or is he just is he a possession receiver? He can't take the top off.
He can take the top off, and that's mostly what his game was in Seattle. He was always Tyler Lockett was always my sneaky like seventh round pick in fantasy football that would win me leagues because he will randomly have a game where he'll go off for like 30 points because he'll have like a 70-yard touchdown just over the top because he's really really quick. He was our Pro Bowl kick returner for a reason. So I think that Cam Ward is also an incredible pick. I was skeptical on his talent, but I mean you can tell his leadership from just watching him. I mean that was the big difference between him and Sanders was the leader, and that was what I saw going into the draft. I never expected Sanders to have that type of fall. I thought that he would be a first round pick as well, just based on the hype. And the big difference between him and Ward for me was leadership.
So I'm going to give you just a couple of numbers here and see what you think here, because I realize you may have caught in some news, maybe you don't have so much. So Lockett he played all 17 games the past 2 years. 79 catches on 122 targets. That's a lot of misses, but that may not be on him. 894 yards, 49 catches last year, 600 yards, 5 and 2 touchdowns the last 2 years. Does that give you any pause to think he's slowing down?
No, not whatsoever, because in the Seattle offense...
That's following 4 years of 1,000-yard catches. Only one of those did he have 100 catches, though.
Yeah, so that first year that you bring up is the year that Seattle brings in Kenneth Walker. And we really shift... That's also the year that we... our last year with Pete Carroll, where, running the ball is a priority. And then the addition of Jackson Smith and Jigba is also pretty important when you realize that you have wide receiver trio of DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's why yards and targets go down. So, and I can tell you that the misses is definitely not on Lockett because that guy does not drop passes. He does not. I don't think I've ever witnessed it.
All right. So, anybody else that you think doesn't make the playoffs out of the people who did? Real quick, and then we'll wrap this up and go into your next subject here.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the main four. I think that the Texans are really that bubble team that could go either way.
They got a really good defense, but I don't have any trust in their offense.
Yeah. I don't love what they have going on the ground game. I couldn't even tell you who the running back is, and I'm normally pretty tapped into that kind of stuff. It's just, I mean, when Mixon's gone, who do they have? But I think Stroud is that guy, and I do like what they have going on in the wide receiver room. It's just I really I just don't know. I don't know what's going on there. They play in probably the easiest division in football, so there's no reason that they should miss. It just comes down to all the pieces going the right way.
Nick Chubb is their starting running back.
Really? I don't know how I missed that one. Okay, then
Chubb,
I don't see any
Dameon
reason that
Pierce,
the Texans miss it.
And Dare Ogunbowale.
Run the AFC teams that made the playoffs last year again by me.
The AFC was Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Texans, Chargers, Steelers, Broncos.
Chargers. That's the one.
You don't think they'll make it?
No. I think that Justin Herbert is the guy. I do not like his surrounding cast. Najee Harris, I don't think should be a running back one. I really don't. And
He
then
had that eye injury. They did take a high draft pick on a running back on Omarion. What's his name?
Hampton.
Hampton, yeah.
Yeah. It's just
I like
look
the
at
coaching. I like the
it's the
coaching,
wide
right?
receiver room. Quentin Johnson, that's their receiver, right? The one that cannot catch for the life of him. And then 40-year-old Keenan Allen. It's just, and do they have a tight end? Like, what's his name? No one knows. I don't think that the Chargers. They lost Joey Bosa, and other than Derwin James, who else is on their defense?
So their wide receiver one is Ladd McConkey, who had an amazing year last year.
I hope he does well. I have him on my fantasy team.
Yeah, he's a nice pickup in fantasy too. Um, so I guess we'll see.
I
Tight
think
end
the
is Will.
Texans make it and the
You,
Chargers miss.
you should like their tight end. It's Will Disley.
That guy's horrible. I wanted him to be so good. I wanted him to be so good for us in Seattle,
And
and
they,
he just never got it. He was
they pick,
heavily touted as the best blocking tight end in the draft, and that's true because he like never caught the ball. He didn't drop it. He just was never open.
all right. What's your second topic there?
All right, I'm gonna be staying in a Seattle bias. I think this is a very very divisive topic, but is Russell Wilson a Hall of Famer? Yes or no?
I guess my short answer is yes. He's not doing himself any favors these last couple of years, but sometimes that's how it works. Is these guys, their last few years are forgettable. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers, right? The two of them both have one Super Bowl ring, but each, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did go back-to-back years to them. They, unfortunately, it didn't work out for them right at the very end on the second one, but he did lead them there. He has got an excellent record. I don't know all of his numbers off the top of my head, but I do. It's funny because Eli Manning has two Super Bowl rings, and people debate if he's a Super Bowl or a Hall of Famer. I think he'll probably get in because a lot of these guys get in, but I don't like Eli as a Hall of Famer because he didn't dominate the league, and there's times where I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I feel like Russell Wilson did. I think that you had to game plan for Russell Wilson, and I don't think anybody game planned that much for Eli.
Yeah, I can absolutely agree with that. And the other thing I'll point you to is how much of the Super Bowl was Russell Wilson and how much was the Legion of Boom.
That you're right on the Legion of Boom is a big thing there, and so I guess you can fall back on that. I mean, are you out on him? Or are you in?
So I'm actually one of the ones that it's polarizing for me because there's so much that says yes and there's so much that says no. Because I mean, you look at his stats. I have it pulled up right here. He's played 13 seasons. He's thrown for 46,000 yards, 350 touchdowns, 9-time Pro Bowler, and then he's won a Man of the Year and a Super Bowl. I don't know how much Man of the Year factors into a Hall of Fame resume, but I digress.
He's got a career passer rating of 99.8. Hey, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah, yeah.
He also has
So
5,400 rushing yards and 31 rushing touchdowns. I mean, that can't be overlooked.
no. I think that he is
Now, I can make fun of the 31 rushing touchdowns because my guy Jalen Hurts has 55 already. But
Yeah.
it's not there's a different thing there. But anyway,
Yeah.
he's still
Tush push
impacting the game with
versus
his legs.
escape artist. Those are very
what?
different things.
I'm trying to think of who was just talking about it. I was just watching or listening to, and they just talked about how in preseason they watched Russell Wilson just drop a ball right in the bucket to, I don't know if it was Malik Neighbors or whoever he was throwing to, and they just said that he has one of the best deep balls they've ever seen.
Yeah,
I thought,
and I can agree with
haven't
that.
watched him enough, but there's things there.
Yeah, yeah. Here, I'm gonna try to pull up Russell Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers career stats, and
Aaron Rodgers' stats are going to be gaudier.
oh yeah, for sure. It's not really pulling up for me, but I think that when it comes to if Russell Wilson is a Hall of Famer, it comes down to how many quarterbacks have made the Hall of Fame with 0 Super Bowls, and what did they do to earn it, right?
You got to be a guy who's leads the league, top 2, top 5 in the league over a period of time, and it's things like that matter. So you got a Dan Marino, right? He held just about every passing record you could have. Went to one Super Bowl, lost. Something that Rodgers has that he doesn't is 4 MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's things like that really help too. He was the four times he was the passing rating leader. Twice he led the league in passing touchdowns. So his stats are going to, they're not going to look good. Almost 63,000 yards passing.
Yeah.
And he has more rushing touchdowns at 35.
Really? Dan Marino.
35. No, no, no. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. This is
Oh, Aaron Rodgers. Okay.
So
I thought you were still going about
Rodgers
Aaron
versus
or Dan Marino.
I mentioned his legs and 31 touchdowns. It's not the touchdowns that's the impressive part for Russell Wilson. He kept plays alive by scrambling, right?
Yeah. We called him Houdini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you can't compare those numbers. 503 touchdowns. Come on, like Rodgers is a no-brainer.
Yeah, Rodgers is in the top 10 of quarterbacks of all time, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Where would you say that Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer?
Again, I don't know the numbers. He's a much tougher case. He never accomplished much of anything other than maybe he had a bunch of passing numbers, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Was he ever in the running for an MVP? Because he didn't win any.
I don't see anything about MVPs on here, but
That makes a difference, right? So Phillip Rivers, if they give it to him because he's accumulated a whole bunch of yardage and stuff, fine. But I don't much care if they want to do that. But
so I put Russell Wilson around where I would put Matthew Stafford, because Matthew Stafford won that one ring, but I feel like it was very similar to Russell Wilson's ring, where it's how much of it was the quarterback play and how much of it was the team, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like Matthew Stafford, if you put any, upper echelon quarterback in that system, they win that Super Bowl as well. I don't think that was on Stafford. I think Russell Wilson could have won that Super Bowl in that system. And then I think that most quarterbacks could have won the Super Bowl that Russell Wilson won because of that defense. And then it comes down to, when they leave that system, do they do well? Russell Wilson has not. And so it kind of scares me for his, like you in your short answer, you said he's not doing himself any favors, and I could not agree more. I think if Russell Wilson retired when he left the Seahawks, I think that he's a Hall of Famer. And now it's getting a little bit skeptical for me.
I mean, you watch Tom Brady leave the Patriots, and we all said, "Oh, is it him or is it?" Oh, we found out it was him.
Yeah, it was Brady
him more than it was Bill. Now, Bill had a good defense, and so you can say the beginning of his career, maybe it was more Belichick, but over time, it was Brady.
Mm-hmm.
So, any rate, so. Okay.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Short answer, yes, Russell Wilson's a Hall of Famer, but I think that he needs to prove it by at least accomplishing something outside of Seattle, or he needs to hurry up and hang him up.
Because the minute he struggles, they're going to put in Jameis, and as soon as he struggles, they're putting in Jackson Dart.
I think they have Dart above Jameis on the depth chart now. So
I haven't looked at it, but I would much rather see, as a fantasy football guy, I'd rather see Jameis in there slinging that ball,
throwing him 8 billion pick sixes and 8 billion touchdowns.
God, so great, so great.
Jameis has to be the funniest man in the NFL.
I saw somebody had a great idea, and they proposed it. And I think I talked about this with Will one time on here. He said they propose a new rule, and this isn't going to work in every situation. I mean, it's got to be like primetime games, like Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. It can't just be, you have to pick some game on a Sunday afternoon if you want to do that. But Jameis Winston, he plays quarterback. He's the backup quarterback for both teams. So if your starter goes down for either team, he puts on the jersey and he goes and plays for your team. And the question is, well, what if both teams' starter goes down? Then he plays for both teams.
All-time QB, man.
Nobody is going to go out and try harder than that dude for every team he plays for. And I was like, that would be the greatest rule change in the NFL. Jameis Winston is the league backup quarterback, and I want to see it.
I think that the only caveat we need is that we need him to be mic'd up.
Oh yeah,
and it needs to be playing over the intercom in the stadium. We all need to hear that.
When he's up there eating W's on the sideline.
Yeah, and he looks humongous because he's wearing both jerseys. He takes one of them off.
Both jerseys and both helmets too.
Yeah, I think I love the idea of Jameis, but I think that if we really want that, if we want entertainment, it's Jameis. If
It's
you want
Jameis.
results, I think we need it to be Baker Mayfield, because that game he played for the Rams on 2 days notice, that was awesome. And I
I'll
hate
tell
the
you,
Rams.
Baker was criminally underrated, and he has proven to all of us he was worth the number 1 overall pick.
Oh, yeah.
He's that man. He's that
And
man. He's good.
I drafted him in fantasy, so I believe in Baker.
Oh,
All right, what's your last topic?
All right, and my last topic is, how are the second-year quarterbacks going to do this year? So, the second-year quarterbacks are Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Michael Penix Jr., J.J. McCarthy is the second-year guy, although he was hurt and didn't play last year, Bo Nix, and Spencer Rattler. So, I'm
Spencer Rattler.
You weren't available. I don't know if you ever caught or saw my take on Caleb Williams is that he is not going to do well in the NFL. He was not going to be great. He might be a mid quarterback, whatever. I watched him do great and win the Heisman, and then followed up with a very mediocre season. And so when he came out last year, I had to take something of a victory lap, but a grain of salt. His numbers, anybody who was cheering for him wanted to show his numbers at the end of the year. Hey, they were pretty similar to Jaden Daniels' numbers. The problem is Jaden Daniels' numbers were in moments that mattered. Mm-hmm. Caleb Williams was behind so much. He's throwing the ball. He's getting garbage time. So it's a little stat padding there, right? They are not equal numbers to say, oh, they both had the same this. He had fewer picks. Doesn't matter if your team was losing by 20 when he's doing it and not making the comeback to win. So I do think he's going to improve this year. I think he's got a better head coach. He's got a better offensive line. He's got some better weapons. So I do think he'll do better than he did last year. Jaden Daniels, I think he'll have a good year, but I think that he's going to struggle at times with a year of tape, right? You got guys, he was so outstanding. I think they're going to be scheming for him better this year than they did last year. So it won't be a bad year, not the sophomore slump. I think it'll be a solid year, but I don't know that he'll improve much. I think it'll be, maybe something similar to what he did last year without topping it. Drake May, I think he has to improve. He was good. He was good, but he was on a lousy team. I think a better coach and some better weapons. We'll see if Stephon Diggs still has anything left in the tank. Michael Penix Jr., he only started 3 games at the end of the year. We didn't really get to see him. My take on him last year when he was drafted was he is going to be good as long as he's healthy, and that's still my take. He has torn up both of his knees through college. I mean, the guy looked like he could have been Cam Newton at times. He's got the build, he's got the arm. The problem is, are those knees going to last? I mean, my take on Jaden Daniels last year was I think he's going to be RG3, not just because he was drafted by the same team, but that I think that injuries may plague him. He was this skinny guy, and I don't know if he could take it. And he stayed amazingly healthy. JJ, he's a rookie, right? He didn't start, so there's no sophomore slump. We'll see how he does. He's not going to have one of his receivers. They're bringing back Adam Thielen. We'll see if that helps. Bo Nix, I think that he is a modern day and maybe a poor man's Brett Favre. He is wild. He's a gunslinger. He is going to throw picks. He's going to throw interceptions. He's going to win games on last-minute drives. I think he's going to be good. So I don't know about a sophomore slump. I think he's going to be that guy. That same guy that is just cannon of an arm. He's going to run around, and he is going to be hurling himself at everything. And Spencer Rattler's getting benched.
I think Spencer Rattler is getting cut.
During the season?
I think that there are better options than Spencer Rattler. I think if the Saints bring in PJ Walker, I think he wins the starting job over him and Shuck. I think the Saints will have the worst record, and Arch Manning will follow in the footsteps of Arch Manning.
Oh, you think he'll end up getting drafted there? They are ranked, much to Will's chagrin, 32nd in the power rankings. They are picked dead last.
I wonder why that could be.
I don't know. He said Spencer Rattler doesn't strike fear into the heart of anyone. My deal I want to. Here's my backup to it. Like, I don't know if you have any other takes on these second year guys. I know you didn't get to watch too much of it. The second part of the question is, it's not related, but is Kirk Cousins going to get picked up by somebody this year? Is he going to get traded? Is he going to play for the Falcons? They've already paid him. He's there. They're going to keep him, or is he going to be someone's going to go? We're struggling. We need a guy. You know, Matt Stafford's not doing well. Tua sucks, and so does Zach.
Well, Zach Wilson does not suck. I might bring this up on a future episode, but I have a very, very strong opinion about quarterback career suicide of being too good in college. But I can talk about that later
Right.
on another episode maybe. I can go on a tangent about that. I actually have it on my notes
And
to talk about.
The Rams' backup is Jimmy Garoppolo, by the way.
Yes.
And then Stetson Bennett, the fourth.
I think, okay, here's a hypothetical. The Saints call up the Falcons. They're division rivals, right? But the Saints say, hey, our quarterbacks suck, and nobody's buying tickets to our games. We're trying to tank, but we need something to convince the fans to believe so that we can make money, right? Okay. The Saints say, we'll give you Chase Young for Kirk Cousins. Who hangs up first?
Chase Young for Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
How has Chase Young done the past couple of years here?
Not great. How has Kirk Cousins done the past couple years?
The past couple of years he's done well. Last year, not so good. He was good his last year in Minnesota, but he decided to go out and get more money, and they figured they would go with Sam Darnold, and it worked.
Well, they figured they'd go with J.J. McCarthy, and they got put between a rock and a hard place and struck gold. I don't know. I really don't think that Kirk Cousins is worth that much. If he was, I think that he'd be gone by now. I don't think he'd be backing up Michael Penix Jr. if he was worth that much.
In a world where Daniel Jones was given new life, and they're my pick to now win the AFC South.
You are nuts, man.
I'm just saying that I think someone may take a flyer on Kirk Cousins.
And I think that they should.
If they think, and the Falcons get rid of him if they think Penix is going to stay healthy.
So you think that the Saints would be winning the trade if they traded Chase Young for Kirk Cousins? You think that they would be fleecing the Falcons?
I don't think they'd be fleecing. That might be a needs-based trade.
Okay.
Look, Chase Young's not doing much on our defense. You guys are paying too much there. We'll pay this guy. He's got 1 year left, I think, on his contract. So I don't know that anybody gets fleeced on that deal. But if Kirk comes out and he does what Kirk did, a few different times, it could be good. I think the better landing spot for him is L.A. I think the Rams is the perfect spot for a Kirk Cousins if Stafford's going to be out for a few weeks, for a month.
Well, that was my long answer to the Spencer Rattler debacle. I think he's horrible. I think he's so bad.
But does he have the best last name in football?
Best last name?
It's a pretty good
No, I think that's DeAndre Swift. That is such a good running back name. Same with JaMychal Hasty. Jackson Dart. Are you kidding me? Jackson Dart as a quarterback name? That is so awesome.
Josh Sweat.
That one too. Okay, let's go through the list. Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix has the advantage of being really, really old for a sophomore year quarterback. Wasn't he drafted at 25?
I'll check.
Because I think that if I'm right in my brain, I think that he has the advantage of. I don't think that a sophomore slump is going to hit him. I think that you're right about him being that guy in Denver.
He's 25 now, so he wasn't when he was drafted.
When does he turn 26?
February.
Okay. So he was 24 when he was drafted.
Yeah.
Then.
So he's older.
Okay. I think I still think
was
that
Joe
he
Burrow, right? Joe Burrow wasn't that old, but Joe Burrow was older. I mean, that can be.
Oh yeah. I think there's a trend there, and I'll get to this when I go on my rookie quarterback tangent. But I just think it's very rare that guys come out when they're juniors in college, get drafted, and immediately are amazing. I think that's rare. there's very few guys that have done it. You know, even Mahomes had to sit a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think that Bo Nix, I think he has the advantage of he had a lot of time to develop in college that he didn't need that time to develop in the NFL.
That's the guy
And
I called the steal of the draft this last year, and I think I'm still right.
I would have called you crazy because I would have been like, no, the guy is so old, you know, like, but no, it's actually true because he started his NFL career in his prime versus having to enter his prime by developing under a veteran. And so I think that guys like JJ McCarthy, he probably is like, man, I miss my rookie season, you know, like this stinks. I think that he got really lucky in a way because he got to develop. And I think that he's going to come out and I think he's going to be pretty impressive. I don't think that the Vikings make the playoffs though. As much as I believe that McCarthy is gonna be really good, I just, you know, I don't think that he's gonna be an immediate solution to their quarterback, you know, search. In terms of Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, though, I think that Caleb Williams is gonna figure it out. I think that there's too many things surrounding him that are amazing.
This
You know,
year,
DJ
though,
Moore.
are we talking about sophomore slump, or you mean eventually?
I think he figures it out this year. I don't think I don't think that the Bears make the playoffs. You know, I think that the Packers come out that division. Maybe the Bears sneak into the wild card. I'm not sure, but I think that the weapons are really really impressive. DJ Moore, Romo Dunes. Is that how you say his name? Adunze?
Adunze, I think.
Adunze?
Rome Adunze.
Yeah. I like their tight end, Cole Kmet. They brought in the Loveland guy. That guy he seems really cool.
That's who I drafted. If I take
yeah.
a chance on the rookie.
I took Warren, the Colts rookie tight end. Is their running back still DeAndre Swift?
And
Chicago?
Chicago? Yeah, I believe so.
I think that he's good enough to be that guy to answer, because I don't think that they're going to be a run first offense. I think when you have Caleb Williams, you have two really good tight ends, good wide receivers. I think that you're primarily passing the ball. So I think Swift is he has enough to get it done.
Swift
and then
is
I don't
the
think that
starter. They got DJ Moore, Rome Adunze, and Luther Burden are their starting receivers.
That's right, Luther Burden as well.
I like that they picked up Joe Tooney on the line. I think that was a real good pickup for them.
Now, I'm not familiar with Chicago's defense, but I think that that's a good team. But I mean, this is meant to be a Caleb Williams thing. I think that he has enough pieces around him to build up enough confidence for him to go out and be a starting, like a premier starting quarterback. I don't think that he'll be a top 10 quarterback, but I think that he'll show why he was the number one pick, and he's going to start, you know, working his way, you know, to the upper echelon of quarterbacks. I think that he could be a Pro Bowler this year, and I think that it'll take us all off guard because he was pretty rough that rookie season. I think that he had his confidence destroyed after that Hail Mary by Jaden Daniels, and he never recovered from that. You can literally see their record suffer from that Hail Mary.
Oh, brother.
Pretty good segue into Jaden Daniels. I think that he's man, maybe I'm just really optimistic about all these guys, but I don't think he's going to slump either. There's a reason that guy was Rookie of the Year. I just don't see him falling off. I think that the team got better. I think that now that Terry McLaurin is paid,
it's just the same thing we said about C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud had this unbelievable rookie year, and he was very mid his second year. It's the sophomore thing. So that's the thought.
And I don't hate the idea, but I think that quarterback class was really really good. I think that Drake May is the outlier, and I have to blame that on the system. I don't think he's going to get any better because I don't think that the system got any better. I don't think that his weapons got any better. I don't think that Diggs has enough.
You know who his OC is, right?
Is it freaking Matt Patricia?
No, it's Josh McDaniels.
Oh,
they brought him back.
I just don't see it. It's not Tom Brady, man. It's not Tom Brady. You don't have Gronk. You know, it's just.
You don't think Drake May is Tom Brady? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, and I don't think that Hunter Henry is Gronk, if that's even still who's there.
Hey, they like him enough that they traded away Joe Milton to the Cowboys.
And
my Tennessee guy.
And that guy still cannot hit a wide open receiver. So they got a lottery pick out of it. So
Well, it's just funny to me because the Patriots had two Tennessee quarterbacks as their backups. They got rid of Joe Milton, but kept Josh Dobbs.
and the Saints could trade
Nobody
for
cares.
Josh Dobbs and he'd be their starter.
Yeah.
That's honestly how I feel. So I think that the sophomore slump is I think it might pass us by this year. I think it's gonna be like the Madden curse because I don't think that Saquon's getting hit with that. I think that the sophomore slump is
All right.
it's either gonna pass us by this year, or it's all gonna go to Spencer Rattler because that guy is horrible and
They all send it to him.
yeah,
All the juju goes to Spencer Juju Rattler.
kind of like how all the Madden curse went to Antonio Brown and now he fled the country on murder charges.
Oh my gosh. All right. I've got a game. It's not super exciting, but it's an interesting little quiz you on history a little bit here. Can you name the top five touchdown receivers in NFL history?
Okay, receivers.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice.
Number one, 197.
For some reason, I'm feeling like an Antonio Gates, but I'm not sure about that one.
He's number seven,
Okay,
116.
so he's just out of the top five.
Yep.
Okay, like a Terrell Owens.
Terrell Owens is number three, 153.
Okay, Larry Fitzgerald.
Number six,
Dang it,
121.
dang it, I'm right there, man.
Mm-hmm. These guys aren't ancient history either.
Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez, number eight.
Gosh,
111.
man. Gosh. Okay. Who am I missing?
Oh my gosh.
Gronk.
No, he's a little further down in the teens. He's
I
got.
feel like
90.
I'm missing somebody really, really obvious.
One really obvious. When you hear the other ones, you'll think, "Oh shoot, they're obvious," but you'd have been fairly young watching two of them.
Okay. Is Antonio Brown on that list?
No, I don't
that
know
one
where
kinda-
he is. I don't think he's anywhere near it.
That one kind of floors me because Antonio Brown was crazy good.
These are guys with number five has 128 touchdowns. Antonio Brown's not that good.
No, I guess not. No.
All right, you want a clue?
Give me
Two of
a
these guys.
give me a
Two of these
division.
guys. Oh, division? Well, two of these guys were teammates in the NFC North.
NFC North.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll slap yourself in the face when you hear number two is. You're probably not thinking about number three as much. It was more the end of his career at the beginning of the other guy's career.
Okay. Okay. So NFC North, we got the Packers, we got the Vikings, we got the Vikings is Randy Moss.
There you go. Number two, 156.
Yeah.
His
I am slapping
teammate, his
myself
Hall
for
of
that.
Fame teammate.
His Hall of Fame teammate Chris Carter.
There you go. Number four for 130.
Okay, so I'm just missing number 3.
Number three is most famous for playing for the team you told me was not going to win the AFC South.
Okay. So that's going to be Marvin Harrison.
That's Marvin Harrison at 128.
Okay.
So you actually guessed everybody in the top 10. Numbers 9 and 10 are actually both active players. Can you guess who they are?
Active players.
In fact, they both came in the same draft class, 2014,
That was a stacked class. I mean,
and they're
you
both
look at-
considered still, difference makers, meaning that at 105 and 103, both of them are likely going to pass maybe Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates. I don't know if they'll get all the way up to Larry Fitzgerald, but they could if they had a couple of good years. Because Fitzgerald was 121, 116, and 111 for Gates and Gonzalez. These are 105, 103. So
these are guys that are
older
top
guys?
10.
Yeah. Very good.
and they're still active.
One of them has played his whole career with one team. He's still there. The other one is on his fourth team this year. This year he's starting on a new team.
Okay. One team his whole career,
Yeah.
and he's still playing.
Yep.
Who could that be?
All right, we're going to have to start the clock here soon. NFC
Give me a
South.
division. Okay.
NFC South.
NFC South. Okay. I would say Julio Jones, but that's not true. He bounced around and he's retired. Just what like a month ago. Buccaneers. Okay, it's Mike Evans.
That's Mike Evans at 105.
Yeah, and 1,000 yards every single season of his career, which is,
Yeah.
I think, one of the most impressive feats in NFL history.
In the last 2 years, he's had a bunch of touchdowns. He's done much better than this other guy did the last 2 years.
Okay, this next guy, what division was he drafted in?
Drafted in, it was the NFC North.
Okay.
Played a long time with the Hall of Fame quarterback,
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams at 103. So, the last question here, without taking a lot of time, how many touchdowns are they going to end their career with? They're only two apart, 105, 103. So, in other words, how far up this list are they going to go?
I think that Mike Evans is going to... I think he's got 2 or 3 seasons left in him. And I think that he's going to stay on the trajectory he's at because that guy's an animal.
Mike Evans, the last 4 years, 5 years, 13 touchdowns, 14, 6, 13, and 11. So he had double digits each of the last 2 years.
Yeah. And so what's he at right now?
105.
105. I think he can break the 130 threshold.
Wow. So you think he can get another 25 touchdowns?
I mean, you said the last 2 seasons he's combined for how many?
The last 2, you said?
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 was 14.
Okay.
You got to
Yeah, I think
he might slow down a little bit, but
yeah.
if you give him 3 years at what, 8 a year, that's 24.
Yeah.
You know, if he can
I think
do it
I think
a year,
he can
that's
hit
a
10.
lot. That's a lot.
He can get 10, 9, 8,
So,
something like that.
If he can get 130, he'll tie Chris Carter at 4th place at 130.
That's crazy to think about.
How about Devontae Adams? The last 2 years, let's see. Last year,
He's going
he
down.
played part of the year with Vegas with 3 games, and he played 11 games with the Jets. So the last 2 years, he had 8 each year.
So the issue with Devontae Adams is that...
Prior to that, it was 18, 11, and 14, so then only 8 the last 2.
Yeah. I think that Puka Nacua is the guy in LA. And I just don't think that Devontae Adams is going to be getting the attention that people think that he is. He was one of those guys that in fantasy football, I had to avoid him like the plague. Because I just don't think that he's going to be getting as many targets as, the top. I think that he's going to be like 4th on his team in targets. I don't see it happening for him. So I think that
85 catches last year.
Mm-hmm. But on a different team.
And
1,000
yards.
I think that the Rams system is built for guys like Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua for a reason. And I think that Devontae Adams is there to take people away from Puka. I think that he's meant to be a distraction. I think that's why he's in the system, is to pull defenders away from Puka and get him open. So I think that Devontae Adams, I think he's got a season or 2 left, and I don't see him climbing up the list very much. I think he tacks on maybe 5 or 6.
5 or 6 more total over 2 years?
Probably.
Wow,
Maybe
so,
I see him getting at most 10.
So 10 more would get him into 8th place ahead of Gonzalez, because he's at 111. So, all right.
And I think that Devontae Adams, his Packers stint makes him worthy of that. Like you think of Devontae Adams, you think of him on the Packers, and that guy was a beast. But as soon as he had his epic crash out, well, he went to go follow Derek Carr. Who is following Derek Carr? And then Derek Carr immediately leaves because it failed. He immediately is like, all right, I'm out. Goes to the Saints. Like, oh my gosh, man. So I think that Devontae Adams, I think that he would have stayed on that Hall of Fame trajectory if he had stayed in Green Bay. But going to the Raiders to follow Derek Carr, I get it, they were teammates in college. But it just was like, whoa. Derek Carr over Aaron Rodgers, what are we doing, man? Like, would you rather be playing with Jordan Love right now? Or, you know, a bad Aaron Rodgers, a bad Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, and then now, you know, glass bones Matthew Stafford. I don't get the logic there.
All right. So do you have a final thought or a game or what do you have, or are we wrapping this up?
I think it's about time to wrap it up. I've been yapping for too long, and
all right, then real quick, Super Bowl prediction: who's in it? Who wins it?
I don't see any reason that the Eagles cannot repeat it, but are we really? Do we see the Chiefs making it back? I think it's gonna be Bills Eagles. I think it's Bills.
Ooh.
Bills Eagles.
See, that's a nightmare scenario for me.
Yeah.
Because then everyone's cheering for the Bills.
Yeah, and I'm cheering for the Bills if that happens. You know, I think
if we get Eagles Chiefs, then I still get some of that goodwill. There's some people like, you know what? I still hate the Chiefs. I'll go with Eagles.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm at.
I get Bills or Ravens. Ravens not as much, but Bills it's that. Oh look, they finally made a Super Bowl. Oh Josh, I need somebody people hate over there. So my only hope is the Chiefs.
I think that the Bills are doing everything right. They've been bringing in young weapons, fresh legs on the ground, and the Eagles are doing everything right by bringing in proven talent and somehow being able to pay everybody. And so it's just the type of thing that
still staying as one of the youngest teams in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy to think about, and I think they went about everything right because they did, you know, the unthinkable of, you know, drafting Jalen Hurts, you know, to replace Carson Wentz, who was supposed to be the guy in Philly, and we're all like, what the heck are they doing, drafting Jalen Hurts of all people? And
Not me. I was pumped. I'm like, that dude's a winner. Bring him in.
Well, then you were the only person.
When I saw Wentz get all butthurt about it, I'm like, oh, well, if you can't take a guy getting taken in the second round, then beat it, dude. I'll take the winner kid. I'll take him through his lumps.
Yeah.
And we saw that dude fell apart, man.
And 2 Super Bowl appearances, a ring. It's like, you know, they're doing everything right. And so I think that those are two teams that are trending up. I think, you know, we're all kind of, you know, preying on the Chiefs' downfall, but I really do think they are on the decline. I think that, you know, the Hollywood stuff, I think that, you know, even taking out the Hollywood stuff, I think Kelsey's getting older. I think that the weapons are a little bit iffy, you know. They're trying to replicate, you know, they've tried to replicate Tyreek Hill with Sky Moore, and now it's Xavier Worthy.
I don't think it's over for the Chiefs.
I don't think it's over either.
They won't make it back this year or 2 or 3 years. I mean, I just look at a Brady, and he had 2 separate Super Bowl, you know, lives. Like, okay, all right, he's done. Nope, came back years later, retooled, came back. So I don't think. I mean, Andy Reid. As long as he's got Andy Reid, I think he's got a great shot. I think those two are a better combination than even Belichick and Brady.
And I agree because I think that they're just going to be in the middle of their dynasty. You know, like the Patriots, they took a couple years off. You know, they won a bunch, took a break, and then won a bunch. And then Brady went off and won another one. I think that they're in the break right now. Because the tools right now, they need to do that retooling. Like I said, you know, Kelsey's getting older. I don't like the weapons. I think they're just trying to replicate Tyreek Hill. They did it with Sky Moore. They're doing it with Xavier Worthy right now. I just don't think it's going to work. I think they need to retool. I think they need to rescheme and, you know, find somebody new. Not replacing Mahomes. I think they need to find new weapons to surround him with.
Yeah, well, I mean, it all starts to me in the trenches. You know, it doesn't matter who he's throwing to. I mean, Brady showed that, right? He threw, you know, when he had Moss, it was amazing, but at the same time, he threw a lot of balls to Edelman. Gronk is probably underrated that way.
Wes Welker,
like
Danny Amendola, Chris Hogan. Who are these guys?
Like, he did a lot with these guys. Danny Woodhead. I mean, these guys that were, but it's the line. If he could protect him, and that's where it was so beautiful for the Eagles to just destroy both of the lines. That's all it took. You blew
Yeah.
up both lines. The Eagles. It was no doubt. So.
And I gotta
Alright,
say,
well.
I'm forever envious of the Eagles' offensive line. Gosh, man.
Howie Roseman, man, that guy gets a that guy gets a statue too.
How the Eagles did it a couple years ago, they had, Jason Peters and Lane Johnson, and now it's Mailata and Lane Johnson. And, like, the guards were so good, and now
And
they're good
Juergens.
again. It's like, what?
And Juergens stepped in and almost without a beat replaced a Hall of Famer in Jason Kelsey.
It's like,
Mekhi
whoa.
Becton last year from the scrap heap. That dude got a bag to go play in L.A. Like, come on, man. And now we got some question marks with injuries at the guards to start the season, but we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
And offensive line is one of the two words, that and, 1 yard line are the two words that make every Seahawks fan just, die inside. It's like, what could have been if we had a good offensive line, and I won't talk about the other one.
I'll talk about it. I'll take an offensive line, a great offensive line over a great quarterback if I had to choose one or the other. Because I've seen some guys look pretty good when they're given time.
Yeah. And, next time you have me on, I'll talk about that offensive line in my my rookie quarterback. There's a method to the madness when it comes to rookie quarterbacks, that it's a winning formula, and it starts in the trenches, man.
All right, well, let's wrap this up.
I appreciate you having me on.
Appreciate everybody. Like and subscribe, share, tell your friends, and next time we'll be even more energy. We'll pick it up. Go Birds.
Go Hawks.
Let's go.